Hi, all. Welcome to Clueless Insanity. What a match. What a series. What a time to be watching Test match. And for all those people who are wondering, Test match cricket, is it dying? I think this series just shows how exciting it is to watch Test match, especially a 5 days. People who are talking about 4 days and 3 days. It's good to see 5 days, 25 days of excellent cricket. So I'll just take it up with thanks, first of all, for our esteemed panel to be there. Sorry, I got carried away. Hi, Abhi. Hi, Akshar. And hi, Vishal from across the globe, like always. So I'll start with the man who was closer to England, Mr. Akshar. How was your viewing? It was more easier for you, I'm assuming, to watch the match.
I started the watching the series when I was in India. I started like you guys, and through the course I moved or I flew back to Netherlands, and it's been a tricky one because you through the day you miss a lot of the cricket. It usually began at 12 and ended on 7 if our day play was okay. If there was extra, then you see a bit more. It's been a busy month for me as well outside, so catching up on ball to ball like I would like to was not super possible. But I saw a lot of the series and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's fantastic. So, just quickly sum it up, Abhi. I mean, were you able to watch the game ball to ball? Of course, it's working time for people like us, but were you able to watch the game ball to ball, session by session?
Not exactly, but I at least enjoyed India's bowling. I could uh, make some time to watch India's bowling in particular because I was focusing more on it. We can talk about the pitches later, but I
Yeah,
felt India's bowling was something which I always felt was kind of the weak link with Bumrah. You're not sure will he play or not, and Siraj having a huge workload. So picking 20 wickets is something which is important, right? So whenever I had time, I made sure I watch at least India's bowling, but thoroughly enjoy the series.
right. So, okay, I mean, you brought up the point of Bumrah. I'll keep that up. I'm going to hold that question for later. I'll, but okay, so Vishal, the first question to you. To all, do you feel this is a fair reflection of the entire test series?
In my opinion, yes. I would say 2-all is a good scoreline. I know India had chances to win in Lords. Actually, had chances to win 4 out of the 5 Test matches.
Yeah,
To be honest, but we have to give credit to England as well, right? They also played a big part in this series, and in my opinion, this series has been one of the closest fought series since the 2005 Ashes. So yeah, I think 2-all is a fair reflection, and this series has been good artwork for Test cricket across the globe.
yeah.
Yep. Forgive me, guys. There's fireworks in the background. I think someone's really enjoying the India's win here. So, all right. So,
This was fireworks.
Abhi, that's a very nice sum up of what Vishal did. So let's go, test by test, and we can start with the first major elephant since we didn't do any pre thing. Let's with the main thing. It was such a beautiful name and title that was given.
Yeah.
Anderson Tendulkar Trophy is a beautiful name. I think it was very pivotal since two humongous nations are going at it. After something like Border Gavaskar, a more fitting name is like this. So, obviously there is no previous tour over here, so it starts with England. But and that is why it is going to go as a draw series rather than us retaining it. I'm assuming that is how they've concluded the series, right? Because it's the first series of it. Otherwise, we won the last test tour, so we should have ideally retained the uh, Is that how the thing is? I'm sorry if I missed the news, or it's going to be considered as a drawn Anderson Tendulkar trophy. What is the update here?
I do not have any update on that, sadly, but I'm assuming it is it is something like Border Gavaskar, like you said. Also, when we talk of Border Gavaskar, we did not live in that generation where we saw Border or Gavaskar play, right? So this trophy is more apt for our generation because we saw both Sachin play and also Anderson play. So this is more closer, more connected to us, I feel, and also. From the uh, uh, series point of view, when they chose these two names, yes, there were initial talks why to have these two names, but I feel it is proper tribute, considering Sachin being one of the legends for India and
Looks
Anderson
like
is one of the legends for England. So yeah, happy with the name and happy to have it 2-2 at the end of fifth day of fifth test.
absolutely. So I mean, they say that cricket is a great leveler, right, Akshay? So I mean, obviously there are some thousand things that I would like to ask each of you guys, but I would like to pick and choose few points which are right on top of my head, and I'm going to ask you this, Akshay. In the first test match,
Yeah.
we dropped like so many catches, right? We dropped like catches after catches, which let England come back and eventually won the match. And look at that, how it panned out in over the past or the next five test matches. This match, India had absolutely were not supposed to be close to 374. We were dropped. I mean, they dropped I think seven catches. They dropped seven catches, and they dropped like four of Jaiswal alone, who went on to get a big daddy 100. So I feel that's the one point that I want to mention like that is that. But the other point I really want to ask you is, do you feel any other situations like this where in a five test match series we would have not got it had it been like a three test match series? So you feel going forward, India should play against England, South Africa, and Australia at least. These three countries you should go on to play five test matches.
I think more test matches are obviously very. I dig it, but the money guys and the businessmen don't. So I think our say doesn't really matter. And you see that more and more factors. Even for example, this series, we had five test matches, but if you see the gaps between test matches, especially the fourth and fifth, were so narrow because of the 100 that they want to play in England as well. So the point is, where in the cricketing calendar will you sneak the time to extend your test match days? And actually, the time for test match cricket is getting shorter and shorter overall. And it's also a big reason why I think 4-day test matches is going to become a very quick reality for the world to see. Not that I like it, but I envision it primarily because yeah, you don't have time in the cricketing calendar to play more test matches. Not possible. Coming to your point on catches, I believe in every match there were enough moments where the fielding has let teams down or brought them back in the game due to runouts or missed chances, even that all factored in massive and catches win matches. It's an old adage from cricket. It's always true, and more so in this day and age, especially with terms like baseball. They're scoring at insane rates. So the next time you get an opportunity, they're already 80 runs ahead or 100 runs ahead. So the interval in number of balls between two opportunities are probably the same, but the number of runs they score between those two opportunities has become skyrocketing. So it's yeah, more important now that you hold on to your catches than ever.
All right, so Vishal, I want you to address the elephant in the room. I'm going to ask you before we deep dive into test match and obviously what happened in each test matches. I want to just deep dive into um, the most, the question which probably people don't talk about most. So I want to ask this: are you happy with Gautam Gambhir's coaching? Do you feel he was good in the series?
Well, you're asking a person who supports KKR as his IPL team, and Gambhir was the captain as well as the mentor. So,
Yes, that is why I chose you actually.
It's been a tough start for him in red ball cricket. We had three series. We lost against New Zealand. We lost in Australia, and we've drawn in England. One thing I can say is he's joined a time when the team is sort of going through transition. We need to give him some more time. It looks like he has a good rapport with Shubman Gill, but the sample size is very small. It's just five test matches, and in with respect to sort of white ball, well, we just won the Champions Trophy, right? So, in my opinion, the results have been mixed, and it's not even been 1 year since become the coach of the Indian team, right? So, let's give him some time. He's taken over from Rahul Dravid, who definitely was a different type of coach compared to Gambhir. But yeah, in my opinion, just give him some time
I,
and see
I'm
what
sorry
unfolds in the
to
future.
cut you through here.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting you to be so diplomatic. I want your honest answer. Give me a rating out of 10.
I think yeah, as it's been mixed bag, but I still think we'll win a few trophies under him because the leadership strategy that he brought when he was the KKR captain and the way we played as a team last year when he was our mentor, and the way we played this year, there was a big difference. So he has it in him to coach and bring the laurels back to our country with respect to the trophies. So yeah, just give him some time, and with the transition that we are in, we will expect the results to be a bit of mixed bag, but we have the team to start winning tournaments.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
So
a good point you're making. All right, Abhi, since you mentioned about us watching bowling, so obviously we'll come to the batting aspect of it. But bowling, um, it we cannot not talk about Mohammad Siraj, the DSP of India. He is the DSP of India. What a stellar bowling performance by him, right? I mean, he will go down as. I mean, it's very early to say, but do you think his name will just go down in history as one of India's best? I mean, in a five test match series, I don't think this has ever happened before, right? A five test match series, giving his heart out to bowl close to 200 overs. That is insane. I mean, some numbers like that probably would have never popped up in Indian history. So, do you think this is one of the greatest bowling performance, and an individual point of view?
Absolutely. And what I feel, it's not just this series. If you look back from the Indian New Zealand series, the BGT, and this, he's been constantly playing. And also, another major point, whenever he was not your primary bowler, okay, when he used to play under the shadow of Bumrah, his performance was not that great. It wasn't up to the mark. He used to spray here and there, something similar to what Prasidh Krishna did in the previous game, or if for the fact in this game as well. So Siraj takes up the responsibility really well when he is given that job that he's the lead bowler. I guess that's when his A game comes out, and he's bowling his heart out. Probably the over before he bowled the last one, he was clocking at 145 plus, which was the highest in this game. So end of the tournament, after bowling 180 odd overs and you're clocking 145, that talks volume of
His fitness.
the
yeah,
not just the fitness, the way he wanted to give his heart out. So I
mentality.
guess it's a high time we he's probably very underrated. So high time he gets his due, and this series is like a eye opener for everyone to talk about him.
Right. Okay.
Also, just one point which you asked, Akshar, which I wanted to touch upon, the five test series against Sena countries, right? So, if you look at how we used to tour in 90s or 2000s, it used to be three tests and five ODIs, so spanning around 40 to 45 days. Right now, we travel for the same amount of time, but every year it's like 45 days for five test series, and then we come back to play ODIs and T20s in the next year. So, given that with FTPs around, I guess it's very much required that the big teams play around 4 to 5 tests for revival of test cricket.
Hmm.
Right, that's beautifully put. Yes. That's it, because with like Akshay did mention about infrastructure and money getting involved. Probably you can't expect Zimbabwe or Pakistan Zimbabwe having a tour or something like that. It's not going to happen. Or probably the kind of India Sri Lanka will not five test matches. We probably nobody would want to watch that as well, because there is if it becomes a five test matches and each game goes to 5 days, then nothing like it. But I just see India blowing Sri Lanka over in like 3 days, if because we both are subcontinental and we are much better test playing country. But of course, after New Zealand, nothing is said for sure. So, but yeah, coming back to bowling, before we deep dive into our batting aspect of it, there are other people apart from Mohammad Siraj Akshar. So the two matches that we won,
Mm-hmm.
apart from Siraj, obviously Siraj was an equal contributor in both of them. There was Akash Deep in one,
Yeah.
and in this match, it was really sad that people. It all glory went to Siraj, and everyone is talking about Siraj, of course, and he deserves everything. But actually, I believe if you look into this match, it was Prasidh Krishna through and through. He was the man who brought India back again and again.
I
Just when just when you felt like the game is slipping away, it was always him who was getting India back in the match. And had Siraj taken that catch, it would have been all but over by yesterday tea session. So I feel Prasidh Krishna and Akash Deep should also get an equal. Don't do you feel that as well?
I think we are talking about timelines, and if we see what I'm sure the meme is going around how what a debut match Prasid had, and how he has come back in the same series to get his due and his laurels. I think the fact that Siraj is in the spotlight is nothing like a shade on Prasid. I thought he bowled really well. He had a great IPL, of course, and he was touted a bit too much, maybe, to have immediate impact in Test cricket. And it is just like Vishal said, some things take time, like Gautam Gambhir's coaching. You have to also give people time to get into their career. Also for Prasid, I think something very similar happened. He was good, but he was also expensive. And I think when you look at the entire test match, you look at the wickets column and you're like, wow. But also you have to remember that in the new ball, especially in the first innings, they were tonking everyone for 7 runs per over and above, and we had no idea what to do. So there are a lot of questions we still need to ask. I felt our utilization of other bowlers, and if you look at the entire bowling unit, was left wanting, and many times I was struggling to know how we were going to get wickets. I am so happy that these guys have punched, but I felt our bowling attack really punched above their weight throughout the series, even including Bumrah. I felt we kind of over relied on him when we didn't need to. I felt we didn't use our spinners at all well. And our choices of spinners were more influential with their batting than anything with their ballers, except maybe Sundar's bowling performance in Lords. Beyond that, I felt a lot wanting. There were never a plan B, plan C, or some kind of that kind of direction. This team needs to work towards that. There is still a lot of scope to improve. And saying that, I must say, amazing performance by entire team. They brought us back from an almost defeat in this match, but they have done that multiple times over, even including the first innings of this game. They were running away, and we have caused England to collapse maybe as often as India has collapsed this entire series, and that's why it's a drawn series, I would say.
I mean, you answered even the question that I wanted to say. Has Gill done a good captaincy? You've answered that aspect as well. So, anyways, uh, since I did speak about Gill, what what an unbelievable series it's been, right, Vishal? I think you being a KKR boy, you've he obviously blossomed from that particular IPL where he was obviously uh, I mean, he was figured out that there's some talent out there, and obviously he went on to become quite bigger later on. But this series, the amount of pressure he came into that first Test match, trust me, I had zero hopes. I was thinking he's gonna come, get 14 out, 22 out, 26 out. That is how I was thinking he's gonna be the figures that will be showing next to him. And people will probably be asking, where is Virat Kohli? Where is Virat Kohli? For the first match, first innings, he hits 100. And then the second match, first innings, it's a double hundred. What an insane series! That is, I think, one of the greatest. Yeah, I'm going to ask now. It's going to be a series of questions just about Indian batting now, right? Because obviously, this type of numbers I don't think has ever again happened in the history of Indian cricket. 774. Generally, okay, there's one guy who's had 700 runs. I know Sunil sir has had 700 odd runs, but I don't think the next Indian batsman will be at 532, and the next Indian batsman is at 500,
Yeah.
and then the next Indian batsman is at 400. Are you kidding me? These numbers are insanely awesome. So we'll just, Vishal, I would like you to point out on the aspect of Gill and how much he's impressed you.
Well, just before I answer this question, so there have been two players who I have kept a very close eye on, and since the under 19 days, when I was growing up, one was KL Rahul and the other one was Shubman Gill, and both made their debuts. I think, if I remember correctly, in the Boxing Day Test match, KL in 2014 and Shubman Gill in 2021. I'm not sure whether KL was sorry, made his debut Boxing Day. So what I wanted to say here is, I woke up to watch them bat on their debut innings, both Shubman Gill and KL, because I felt that both these players had the technique and to score huge volume of runs for the country. So I've been always a Shubman Gill fan, and the first time I saw him was in the 2018 Under 19 World Cup, where he just smashed all the bowlers, and we won the tournament, and he's gone from strength to strength. One thing I would like to say here is there's been a lot of talk in the media saying Gill's record in the Sena countries has been average before this
Yeah.
series, just been terrible. But he's one of the best players that we have in the country in red ball format. Before he made his debut, his first class average was, I think, close to 65, 66, right? So he scored the volume of runs and then made his debut. He's not had sort of a great red ball record as till this series, but his white ball format, well, no one needs to talk about it. And he's given the additional responsibility of being the captain, and yeah, he just delivered, right? So 754 runs in 5 matches. That's amazing. I don't know whether it will be broken ever again with the amount of runs. But having said that, I'm not taking anything away from Shubman Gill. Sunil Gavaskar scored 774 runs in 4 Test matches,
Yeah.
which is insane. I've not seen it live, but in 4 Test matches, 774 runs is a lot.
I was gonna
That's
say there was a time, yeah, he probably it puts into context how certain legends are
Yeah.
put on.
I
And
was
that
I
also
was
against
keeping my
West
fingers
Indies.
Yeah,
I was
at the
keeping my fingers
70s. Yeah,
crossed.
it's crazy.
I was keeping my fingers crossed that he would cross that number, but it's unfortunate. Anyways, all right. So, uh, p- continuing on that, Akshay, what would you say? Uh, I mean, like I mentioned over here, that it's probably these numbers are surreal. Just to just about Indian batting, what are the other few things that really impressed you?
Um, think just that there was a good rotation of players that kept putting their hands up. I was quite impressed by that. As much as there was a transition in bowling, there's a transition, a bigger one with batting. There were quite a few questions coming into it. I felt Yashasvi Jaiswal was one of the pick of our batters before coming into the series, and he still shone brightly. Ton in the last innings and Ton, I think, also in the first innings. So he really played his part, although in between it was up and down. Uh, KL Rahul as well, amazing knocks throughout the series. And I felt that's kind of the ethos of this game. And a lot of runs lower in the order. You had Pant scoring tons, you had Jeddu and also Washi. I mean, perfect things. I can't ask for more, especially playing out of your home conditions. I felt we, with the batting department, did adequate. Only thing I felt we can improve on is how do we utilize our fourth pacer option. I feel like in the end, the team did figure out that Washi was the best batter at seven or somewhere there. But yeah, we didn't utilize a Shardul Thakur or Nitish Kumar Reddy enough, and I'm a bit wondering what happens because this team is clearly not confident fielding a one. Some they need an all-rounder as the fourth pace bowler. We can't have four out and out pace bowlers just like we.
That's a question which I was going to come to anyways.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's my own
yeah.
comment on the batting. But
Mm.
lots of positives. Amazing performance.
Right. So, I mean, Akshat actually brought it up. So, I'm going to ask you this, Abhi. So, this is like, when I asked Vishal about, the Gigi's coaching role. See, because we have Shubman Gill who is debuting, right? And I felt as a coach, he has been absolutely average. Do you feel that, the many times in this game where I think a fair reflection of the series would have been India 3-1, but I'll take two all. So I'm just going to ask you: do you feel over the course of the next five Test matches, the team selections, what would you have done different?
Yeah, basically, when there are two big names not playing this format, okay, irrespective of how their form was, it's a big void to fill up. Okay, and it's not easy for a team to understand who's your go-to player. So one good thing was there was no walking wicket in this series, even though we might question Karun Nair or Sai Sudarshan, but they still contributed. They still had their own contributions. They had a 50 or each. So they're still trying out who's your best pick, right? When that is the case, you're not confident enough to go with who's your extra bowler. A lot of people might question why Kuldeep wasn't played at all. But the fact is, even in the county crickets, you don't see a wrist spinner doing well in England. I don't think. I guess DK also spoke about it. Vaughan was the exception who did well in England. So the sample sizes are very small there, right? And when you're in that phase where you're trying to understand who fits in where, it takes time, which we have to understand. Yes, we do question it, saying why this player did not play, that player did not play, this was not a fair pick. But when they're picking 11, I guess a lot of permutation and combinations are done. Now that we have seen good enough of cricket in this test, I guess they'll have to settle for one set of players so that this is the real test. I feel from now on, I can probably gauge both Gautam Gambhir and Shubman Gill because this is, I'd still say, is one of series. But yeah, Gautam Gambhir felt average in the beginning, but end of it, you still have to give him the credits.
Yeah, results speak for it, huh? And remember the draw is also like a win for India. So
True, true, very true. Okay, so I think I've covered up most of my overall view of what I wanted to address. One last, I think, point that which was brought up, I wanted to ask this like an open question to you all. Um, there is this lot of chatter going around saying that, oh, Bumrah is doing this, he's picking and choosing what he wants to play. Oh, if Bumrah is playing, India is not winning. What are your takes on it? What are your all takes on this?
uh,
So I'll go first. It's not that Bumrah wasn't average. Okay, he still picked a 5 wicket haul in the series. The expectation is so high. It's like having Virat Kohli score a century every game. So you can't expect Bumrah to pick 5 wickets every game. And it's not like he runs up and bowls 4 overs for no runs, right? That is the expectation we have. Because of that, I felt people are commenting and coming to the point when Bumrah wasn't there, we won. See, it is a challenge when your main player isn't there. You would want to step up, and that's what someone like Siraj did. So it's just a bad timing in terms of Bumrah, but there's too much workload, man. Come on, it's too much of workload. He deserves this rest. He'll be back. He's a legend, which we are fortunate enough to have.
yeah, and even a struggling Boomerang is someone I would easily pick in my team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like let's look at it this way. We are winning without Bumrah, so just imagine if Bumrah is back to full fitness and playing all the matches in a series, we'll be even better. That's how I look at it.
Yeah,
Right. All right. So I think this is a good wrap up to India. Sorry, Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. I wanted to just say one thing that will stick on to my mind forever is Siraj on the back foot defending and the ball rolling down to hit the stump in Lords, and we're all crying. And to cut to him bowling the Yorker, pinpointed Yorker to draw level the series. What a leveler! Cricket is a leveler, guys. It is for everyone to play, just to keep you humble and to just to keep reminding you that we are all humans, and it's fantastic that we all love the sport and watch the sport. Wish you all good health and
And before you wrap up, just a quick word. Okay, when you talk about moments in cricket, Pant coming up to play with that injured leg, and today Wokes walking up. Dude, this is what Test cricket is all about.
absolutely.
That as I speak, I'm getting goosebumps. So this is what a reason why we watch Test cricket, and it's absolutely the best one.
Absolutely. I
absolutely.
yes, okay. Thank you.
Cool then. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching Clueless Insanity.